Hello, my name is Nexlation, or Nex. I use they them pronouns, and I am submitting Splatoon 3 80% no major exploits to Power Up with Pride 20 or Winter Pride 2022. There's a lot of text to mash at the beginning, so before I start explaining stuff, I'll just start the run. 3, 2, 1, go. Splatoon 3, third installment of the series. This game's quite a bit different than the other games because it's very freely routed. You don't need to complete every level to unlock the bosses. You just need to complete enough levels to get enough power eggs to unlock oozes that are around the map to get to new areas, which allows for some interesting routing. It allows for two of the three main category splits. No major exploits is the one that is more marathon friendly because it skips all the hard tricks, or it bans all the hard tricks. What no major exploits bans is kind of subjective. It's weird, but basically it bans any big skips of ooze that are big sequence breaks. It bans certain tricks, but it basically doesn't ban anything that could happen in normal gameplay. Like if someone's just playing the game and they happen to do it. And the first trick is coming up. It's a tech skip, and that was it. We bypass a cutscene trigger just by going up on that ledge. Any height elevation, I believe, changes it. Or maybe we just bypass it. But something like that could just happen in normal gameplay. That's why I think the category split is. Anyways, these first couple levels are really good tutorial stages. They try to teach you what most of the levels in the game are going to be about. And back to the 80% split, we do have a third split called Pause Abuse, which is basically on one of the stages in this game, there is a one-frame trick that you can do over and over again to get basically unlimited eggs. You can get all the eggs you need for the run in a single play of a stage. We believe the max is 13,600, and you only need... Well, you only really need 3,000 with the new skips found, but suggestively, about 10,000 eggs to get through the game comfortably. The other mechanic is this. This is the egg ooze being eaten by small fry. Not a lot of... There's not really a lot of confusion there, I don't think. This stage is sort of... This stage is a fun one. It kind of just gets to the end, there's not a lot of enemies to kill. As you see, you're supposed to climb this giant tower. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to charge a splashdown, which is the special you see being counted up right under my eggs. I'm going to charge a splashdown. And we do a cool trick off of a launch pad to make me skip climbing most of this tower. It is... We use the height of the launch pad, or the distance of the launch pad plus the height of the splashdown to be able to get up to a higher ledge. Split. Get to a higher ledge than normal. There's a lot of mashing in this first little bit. There's a bunch of little optimizations in this first little part. here we have our next in-stage little skip. It's not banned because you can do it in normal gameplay without like going crazy out of your way to do it. You see that switch up there? Usually you ink the switches to unlock stuff, but we're gonna slightly patch it up so you can squid surge up to the top to get this key and skip that whole half of the stage. Which is, it saves about 30-ish, 20 to 30 seconds. Because you don't need to unlock both ink rails to get up there. And at the end of the stage, we're gonna do something else, which is not banned, is a quit outs. We close the game, and we load back in, which is a cutscene skip. We skip a cutscene. We skip a cutscene of Octavio, or of Captain Cuttlefish talking to Callie and Murray, and also the hint of Captain Cuttlefish. There's multiple cutscene skips in the run that save a pretty good chunk of time. A really decent chunk of time, actually. So next level. This is the last true level in the intro section before our first boss fight. Just swing forward. These are required enemies to kill. Also, something new to the series that I didn't say at the beginning was unique to Splatoon 3. The community decided to start on story selection timer rather than character creation. It just skips having to time the tutorial in the run, saving about 3 minutes. In every category. So that's why I started on the selection of the story mode instead of the character selection screen like you would in most Splatoon games. And then you're supposed to go down there, but we can reach that ooze from here. And then you're supposed to have a camera angle change where your camera goes to like a wide view screen instead of that normal camera angle. But it doesn't save or lose any time. It just sort of happens sometimes. We have the infamous Octavio fight that has hurt many people in Splatoon 2 because it's all RNG. But thankfully a lot, if not any, RNG is removed. There is basically no RNG in this fight. It might be a little bit that the community doesn't really know about, but it's usually always the same. These fists. I'm gonna try to charge a special here. I'll just get it after this fist. He's always going to go back here, I believe. Oh, he's going left. Or here, that's no. He's going to do a spin punch here, which we can instantly use a splashdown to cancel. To send back. And then we're going to charge another splashdown after this second punch. Octavio, he gets launched out. Phase 1 of 3 is out. We want to splash down before the next phase, because we can do a little trick that saves about 40 seconds, where we can throw small fry into that vacuum that he sucks up. I got it. Okay. Now he skips a vacuum phase, and he instantly throws his punch out. I could use another splashdown, but I don't really use it until the next phase. It's going left again, or right again. You can hit this punch before the vacuum. You can go to the side and ignore the vacuum punches, or the vacuum sucks to punch him. It's phase 2 down. Phase 3. New hand. If his hand hits the ground, it acts like a semi special. All of his special attacks to this game acts like specials from the game. The vacuum being the ink back, which sucks up ink being attacked at you for a certain amount of time, and then deals back a blow based on how charged it is. So we'll just skip it. Oh, whoops, I didn't do that. That was a mental mistake. And is this a fight? We do another cutscene skip here. Oops. That's not the right one. But we do another cutscene skip here. It skips the entire first cutscene of, and it skips some dialogue of us being sucked into the lower level of the story mode, the main part of the story mode. This is where most of the run takes place. Actually, just about half of the run takes place in this section. Now our gear is a lot worse because the fall took our clothes and upgrades away. So the hero armor that we were given by Cuttlefish is now moot, and we have to start back from square one. And the route that, and at the beginning of this game, we thought that upgrading to level 2 hero shots was fastest, so we would avoid trying to get collectibles. But because the route has so many egg canisters that we collect anyway, it doesn't lose that much time to pick up the collectibles now. And so we get to the level 3 hero shot, which makes 2 of the bosses a lot easier. Which is the same hero shot that you saw in the first section. Level 3 is the max. A lot of text to mash. You only play 6 non-boss stages in this selection in this mode, which is a lot less than in Splatoon 1 and 2, where you play about 20 in each, I believe. About 25 non-boss stages. So it's a lot of overworld movement rather than in-stage movements, which is very much a break from the normal runs in the game. Especially from Octo Expansion, where it was almost entirely in-game or in-stage movement. Which, for better or for worse, changed the game. a lot of skips were found, a lot of very hard skips were found to skip the ooze, to skip more stages, and it kind of made everybody... They're really hard. Very, very hard. I've been able to pull off one of them once. What I'm doing now is I'm collecting some eggs. Power eggs. Just so I have a bit extra. Just in case I kind of forget anything. First, another in-game trick, or in-levels trick here. You can throw small fry to hit that instead of using the try-to-seeker that's right there. That saves a bit of time. It's kind of another tutorial stage of all the mechanics that are going to be in Altona. More challenging tutorial stages than the first ones. The next stage coming up is where the trick that I said ruined any percent in this game. So you play this stage, you play the next stage, and then you only play bosses for the rest of the game. Because the bosses are required. It's called Big Bang, or Who Caused the Big Bang You is the official name. There's a glitch where if you pause and unpause one frame apart from each other, or unpause and pause one frame apart of each other, you recollect the clear bonus of the stage. And then if you can chain that about 25-30 times, you can collect enough eggs to skip the rest of the game. That's the stage normally. It's a very fast stage. But yeah, there's an entire category just of pause abuse. And then here's where I said that the rules for this category are kind of weird. That I'm clearing that ooze I just ate with small fry up there. I'm clearing so I can jump over this bigger ooze that's in front of me. But in this game, you can just jump over from the right side of the ooze, and then you can get this without unlocking this 200. So it is kind of arbitrary, the rules that are in this game, but people think that a player might have thought of... Oh, I need to unlock this first. People think that a player might have unlocked that and jumped over rather than jumping to the side. Another thing that No Major Exploits bans is the cutscene skip for this, where this cutscene actually has a check for if it's finished or not, because it's related to the story. And while ooze is being unlocked, there's a time where you can travel through the ooze, but cutscenes are not detected, and so you can get through the cutscene trigger while the ooze is being depleted or being cleared, and you can just skip this cutscene. It saves about a minute. It's not that hard to do, but it's really hard to practice. You have to have a new file every time you want to practice this. Again, more text and more cutscenes. site too. And here, the beginning of this is where the collectible thon starts the beginning of this run, where you just want to collect as many things on the ground as possible, basically, to give you enough eggs to skip other stages. And then there's like completely hidden collectibles like this one, which are just in the ground. Usually use small fry to collect them, but we memorize where they are. And then you have to be kind of fast here because we're trying to make a cycle with a balloon that gives us 100 eggs after we collect some stuff. Specifically this red balloon. You can throw a small fire at it. And we unlock the stage so we can jump back to. And then we get the Sardinium, which we can use Sardinium and upgrade points to upgrade our gear. Mainly we're upgrading for the level 2 hero shot, which makes the next boss fight a lot easier. Yeah. I always go back to the map so I'm ready to jump if I need to. Just a few extra eggs I'm getting. Jump back here. And then we jump over here. And then this 25 egg container that's right there is completely random if it spawns. Actually, it's not completely random. We don't know why it doesn't spawn sometimes. I think it's date and time. Other people think it's other things. That one isn't spawning for me, as you can see. There's one right there where I was aiming at that wasn't spawning. Those 25 eggs are completely random, we think. And then after that one, we jump back here. We fall down here, unlock this stage, and go in it. There's more collectibles when we get this later. This is 2.7, called the Ink Conservation Project. It's the first limited and only limited ink stage in the game. You have a certain amount of shots with the blaster. I believe it's... I believe the amount of shots is... 8. I believe you get 8 shots. We use 2. We use 2 here to get these things rolling. That timing is kind of tight because if these hit each other, then you can't progress. Use 1, 2 here. And we use 1 to move this one over. I play this level safe. I always save a shot, an extra shot, just in case I need to get through that section, or I need to redo a shot. So you can do that stage a little faster if you use an extra shot, but I like being safe. Next up, we have the boss fight after a bit more overworld movement. We jump to this cut a lot in the run. Yeah, while the ooze is black, in that section you can jump through it. And so that's how we can just get most of the... we can optimize some overworld movement. First boss, relatively easy. The really cool thing about these bosses is they're all... each required boss is one of the members of Deep Cut. And being Fry, Shiver, and Big Man in that order. And then Big Man has a really cool reference in it that I won't spoil yet. I'll spoil it when we get there. But I won't spoil it yet. This is just time loss. That first site basically RNG. For this boss fight, you only have to attack the eels that have the headband on it or the face marker on it, because those are the only ones that are quote unquote real. They're the only ones that'll damage Fry. So you can just avoid attacking most of the things. Yeah, that first dash, you can dash to the back of Fry at the very beginning of the thing to mitigate time loss, but it's still about a 10-second time loss every time. Also, wherever this thing stops is also completely RNG. Like how much it spins is also completely RNG. So you can just get unlucky and have that uninkable strat in front of you. Here's a very fun strat in the stage. We use our splash time to get rid of all the copies, and then we can just damage all the normal things. Could have lined that up a bit better, but it's still really fast. That was the first boss fight. Here, we surprisingly don't use a quit out. Normally on the other bosses you use a quit out to skip the cutscene afterwards, but this cutscene is relatively short. So you don't need to. And we can just jump back between worlds. So we jump, after that cutscene, we just jump back to the boss stage. We have a little bit more collectibles to do. Okay, split. We have a few more collectibles to do before we go to the next worlds. Nothing one. Another 100 eggs. And then we open that ooze up. That. We're on to World 3, which is the ice stage. Every Nintendo game has an ice physics stage for some reason, and it's always World 3 or 4. As according to Mario games. Especially the other game, I speedrun Mario Wii, World 3 is the ice stage. Actually my favorite worlds to do runs of. That was not meant to happen. We go here. Here we collect this 100 eggs. We go this way. Unlock this ooze. There's another collectible here that we have to pick up. Go here. Pick another eggs. Smartphone was showing me something here. I believe it was 25 eggs. I could use that and put those other ones. Yeah. That'll be useful later. I go here to pick up Sardinium. A lot of more just overworld collectibles. Pick up more eggs. I unlocked that to jump back to. Some eggs. Don't go off. Pick up some eggs. And then here's another overworld quote-unquote sequence break that is allowed, but is kind of like random why it is allowed. You can jump over this ooze right here. Mark this stage. Don't do it quite yet because we jump back to it. Oh. I didn't angle myself up right there. That was completely my fault. But we jump back to here. We'll get this now because I was get it later usually, but just get it now. Here for eggs. Over here. More just hidden collectibles. Most of these collectibles are just randomly out of nowhere. Here's the next stage. Conveyor belts. This is mostly an auto-scroller. Because things come down on conveyor belts, but we don't have access to everything to kill instantly, so we have to wait a little bit. Use brush here because it's pretty easy and it doesn't take much time. The fastest stage, the bucket's also pretty easy, but the ending strat to be faster is hard, so we just gotta do it. Take that. Half a bit of that, I just do. So you always have to wait for this. Brush smashing. My favorite part of speedrun. 46 is the average time, so that's nice. And then we instantly jump back to this stage. We use this stage because we jump to it anyway. So it's just faster to jump to the stage, do the stage, and then go back to where we need to go. This stage, we just break a bunch of balloons before time runs out. It's a very easy timer. The squeezer is a very interesting weapon, so makes this stage kind of weird. Basically, the first shot is pretty accurate and goes very far, but the other shots are kind of random and don't go as far. That's alright. I have to get a 36 on that stage, but it's not bad. Just a few more collectibles before we leave this site area. We take that. Unlock this. And then we unlock that. Jump down to grab this. Jump back here. And then we unlock the opening to Site 4. We will be back here. This is one of the places where you skip cutscene, or skip it. You can jump over that ooze to respawn on the other side, and then you just go in here. But that's banned skip. I would like to get 2 more RNG 25s. I actually don't know if the ones I found were RNG, but I would like to get him. These, this is always there. This is always there. There's one around here. That's not there this time. There's that. There's sometimes one here. It's also not there this time. Kind of unlucky. I got neither of the 25s that I kind of wanted, but it's fine. This is my favorite stage in the level, in the game, because it's just all aim mechanics and movement. We used a pro. My D-pad input didn't use. But we used a pro. We just break target balloons, kind of like the last stage, but they spawn and we stand still and shoot. It's almost all mechanics based, which I like. This is the slow one. You can preempt the platforms. That was clean. That was a clean section. That was pretty good. Oh, that was too fast. This one just aim down, because I remember having to have the balloons come out. That's a pretty clean stage. Pretty clean stage. .44 is about what I get usually. My best time on that stage is a 42, but it's hard. And mainly just depends on how well you do that first one. Go down here and talk to Callie. Frozen eggs. You unlock this stage from down here, which is also allowed in this game. You come and get these eggs. And then you jump back. Jump to this one actually a little bit. There's eggs. I believe there's an RNG grouping here. I got it. Okay, that's actually very nice. And then we jump back to here again. Can I use that? No. Okay. I don't need that, I don't think. Come down here. Get this. Pick up that. Jump off to get another hidden one. More eggs, and I believe we have enough upgrade points to skip that. Yeah, we do. We just need a total of 18. And then we wait for this balloon. Shiver. Very easy boss fight with... Oh, hold on. I forgot to do something. I forgot to upgrade my weapon. There's a lot of stuff to remember in this game, so... With what we're unlocking now, the level 3 hero shot makes this fight a lot easier and faster. I messed up that before I went in the stage, but it doesn't use that much time. After this boss fight, we should have about 7,000 eggs, which is all the eggs we'll need to beat the game. if we don't have 7,000, there are 300 easy backup eggs to get in the next stage to complete the game. And if we're more than 300 behind, then we have to cry and do something. But I should have enough to do the game. I'm 95% sure I do. You can just attack the shark while it's moving, and because the level 3 shot does a lot of damage, you can beat the shark before it does any extra special attacks. This is the fastest boss fight by a long shot. Not by a long shot. Big Mentos is pretty fast, but it can go wrong. Yeah, this is basically every phase. You just shoot the shark until Fry gets knocked off. And after this boss fight's another cutscene skip that we just closed the game for. That's why you see out my splits. And the bigger shot's very fast. Unlike the other two ones, there's a launch pad that gets you to the treasure thing up here. So we just wait in the same position and just go. Now, right when we collect and see that game save thing, we close the game, just reopen it. And you split when that happens. That was a gold split? Huh. That was a gold split after forgetting to do upgrade points. 6,700. That is enough to get past the next section. Because there's 300 pretty easy eggs to grab. I do purposely skip some eggs in World 1, which would make it so I only have to pick up one of these, but I think they're slow, and I think these are just faster to grab. Yeah, these tunnel rides are very, very slow. But this is the only stage in the game where we don't have to play level. Just straight up, no boss, no actual stage. Just don't have to do anything. Just some overworld movements. The first egg we pick up is here, yet again, hit in. Here's a kind of cool skip that's also loud, because you're just hitting a kettle. You hit that, and then you jump to it. If I had 85 more eggs, this would be the one I'd skip. You jump down, you hit that, and you jump back. And then here, no, I'm not focusing this, because this can mess up easily. You just can jump from rail to rail. I'm pretty sure this is intended. And the last one is about here. Yeah. It's not even enough eggs to beat the game. And we're in the final worlds. The reason my splits are blank is because I don't like running against red splits. It makes my mental go wee woo. So I just mostly always run blank splits unless I know I have a lot of time save and I'll always be ahead. Which is kind of sad, but I just like my mental This stage we also just skip a good majority of it. Then we have Big Man. Up here. You can jump off this rail early. I never trust myself to do so, and it only saves about 5 seconds, so I just don't do it. Now here's a Big Man fight, and I was saying earlier that this had a nice, reference. And you'll see, if you're a fan of the 3D Mario games, you'll see this reference very soon. I love this reference. This is one of my favorite moments in the game, when I played it blind. And also Big Man's just my favorite idol in this game. Idol of all time, actually. It's just so fun. I love Big Man. He's such a good personality. And the character choice is just mwah. Yeah, because we upgraded a power-up that's called Sensor. If we're submerging our ink, we can tell, we can find enemies, and on Big Man, and on bosses specifically, bosses always turn, bosses, like, targets are purple, and every normal target is orange. So we can tell which one Big Man is actually, even though they split. With level 3 sensors, you don't even need to go in the game. Or level 2 sensors, you don't even need to go in the game. So it's just faster. But we don't get enough upgrade points, and it's also slow because we have to pick up more Sardinium that's really far out of the way, and you need more eggs to get it. So we don't get it. This stage is the only one that's like kind of scary, because it can become out of hand really fast. But I'm getting a very good pattern right now. I got a very good pattern for that. Everything kind of came towards me. Here's another quit out after this cutscene, because this is the longest after cutscene, because this is when you get all the parts and you get explained where you can use the parts to do something else with it. Ah, I love Big Man. Yeah. I've actually died jumping to this platform before by going too early. So I play everything very safe now. I pressed the wrong button. 57 is pretty good for Big Man. I don't remember what my best time is. I think it's around 55. Oh, I forgot to split. The nerves of me recording a submission run. Also, I'm just tired. I've done a lot of runs today. Or a lot of attempts, and I woke up. I did a lot of attempts last night as well. I didn't get very good sleep. But yeah, here is the entrance to the end of the game. The rockets. Oh. Entrance to the end of the game. The rockets. This cutscene is very funny, but I need to get a bite to eat, so I will be back when this cutscene is done. The cutscene itself is about 3 minutes long. cutscene's over, and then we get Internet Explorer Inc. because loading the stage is too much for Nintendo and the Switch to do. And then we have another cutscene where we mash through everything. There's a skip to do this, but it is banned in this run. And it's not that hard, but it's considerably difficult, and you would never do it on your own in a casual playthrough. We start the end game after we do this really long ink roll climb. I miss the squishy ink roll. I miss the flexible ink roll mechanics from Splatoon 1. They were fun. So here, just like Splatoon 2 Octo Expansion Escape, the first stage you don't have your armor. You only have small fry. Usually don't have a bomb either, it's a stealth mission, but in this one's a little different. Oh. That was good. I don't know how much time that saves from what we usually do, but I could save a decent amount. And the early cycle is this basically. I want to aggro me, but aggroing small fry still works. It's just a tiny bit slower. Using momentum to jump over before it stops. I like this one because it uses small fry, which is, in my opinion, underused in this game. And speedrun specifically is underused in speedrun. But this section is all about using small fry to get through. I really like this section. Jump to get the key. I jumped a bit too early. We don't care about eggs anymore because we're in the end game. Few text boxes. I see end of section 1, and then we have a small intermediate section where people do dialogue. I'm mad about this section. This is the only section in this one that makes me like mad. It's because that above us, that platform up there, is where we spawned. But you're not able to just jump down onto this section because there's a kill plane halfway through. It actually makes me angry, but I deal with it because I have to. Here's my favorite. Here's a very fun. I don't know if it's my favorite, but it's a fun section. It's a special rush, basically. You're given almost every special in the game, and you just use them to just kill enemies and get through the game. It's very fast. You're supposed to use a wave breaker there to unlock on the enemies, but small fry is actually a bit faster. The hammer section is very inconsistent on whether you actually kill every one of them with the hammer. Wave breaker. Not Wave Breaker, Reef Slider. Probably one of the worst specials in the game. Rain, or yeah, Ink Storm. The special that was on my main Splatoon 2, the Tri-Slosher, or the Tri-Slosher Deco, or Nouveau, Tri-Slosher Nouveau. You were supposed to use the Ink Fact, but the Ink Fact's actually kind of slow, so we use Bombs, which is faster. Here, Stamps. Probably like the worst enemy in the game, in my opinion. Actually, that's a lie. The worst enemy in the speedrun that we fight. And we use this special to try to kill all the enemies. And then here you gotta be quick to make the first cycle of the Octo Zeppelin. Or as we like to call the Oz. A bunch of Oz lore in the Splatoon community. Yeah. You can kill them. You can kill that sniper, but you don't have to. That's the end of the fun section. And then we go instantly from a fun section to an auto-scroller as normal. Every fun section in the speedrun has to have an auto-scroller. It's like Newton's law, but for speedrunning, for games. Every fun level must have an auto-scroller. You just ride this, you start a conveyor belt by standing on it, and you just ride it down to the bottom of the stage. Or you activate it by doing that. I swear you can make that jump. I really want to just try doing that jump one day. I swear you can make it. Maybe if you ink surge from the side platform like this. It won't do anything, but it'll be fun. Fun to do an auto-scroller like most things are. You just do stuff. One thing good this game has over Octo Expansion is it doesn't have a 6-minute cutscene before a 3-minute auto-scroller. Instead, it has a 6-minute cutscene, or about a 5 or 6-minute cutscene before gameplay, which actual like important gameplay, which I'm doing. Just killing enemies. You don't even need to kill the enemies to get through the stage. It's just safer to do so. Charge special here. I'm not kidding. Kill small fire. A little escape you can do by just jumping in this area before the conveyor belt really does anything. Yeah. Part 2 of the auto-scroller, you run different conveyor down, except you actually have to do more. No, with the armor. Two machine gun things that I actually don't know the name of. You have to kill it for the second conveyor goes down again. So we just kill him pretty much with the special. So we pick up another one. And then we have the girl power section where enemies just spawn. What's the charger? What? I never noticed that before. The charge is supposed to be completely neutral like it is right now. But it was pointing at something. It was shooting at something. I don't know why. So we just use a special to pick up the charger and put it in front of us before we can actually do anything. Get another jump. Save minimal time. And this next section is actually split into two. I like to call it spiral. I like to call the first section spiral because you literally just go up a spiral for like 3 minutes or 2 minutes or whatever, how long it takes. This is my favorite movement section because it's kind of hard to do optimally, and it's still kind of fun. Oh, that was weird. I don't need that armor, but I like it. I prefer to have it other than not have it. Makes me have serotonin. Yeah, there's not much to do, or not much to say about this phase. Sort of just run through and jump. And spin. Yeah. There's a little trick near the end where you don't have to do what's intended because Nintendo loves making weird hitboxes for stuff. It's not really a weird hitbox. Like, the hitbox makes sense, but it's definitely not intended. This is the scariest part of this section, actually, just getting around that wall. Usually it's kind of just around you. Here, you can straight up... you're supposed to shoot all of them, but you can straight just go around the corners. And on this section, you don't even need to like get a safe zone. It just doesn't go to the edge of the platform. You can just go through this. You're supposed to grab that hammer and do the last section. I don't. Oh, gold's nice. And here's the Zipcaster. We never used the Zipcaster earlier, so now we use the Zipcaster now. This section is kind of fun, but it has its unfun parts. Or it can be unfun sometimes. You go around and collect all these energy orbs using the Zipcaster. And don't hit that ooze, because I've done that before, and it resets all your progress in the section. I'm trying to go fast enough to make a cycle here, which saves a little bit of time. I think I made it. I could have done that better, but that one's not the hard one to grab. This kind of one guy to re-grab. Bit of improvisation with the routes, because I missed one. I was a little bit slow, but it's fine. And this is the coolest looking section, because you have a sniper chasing after you. But if you're fast enough to use Zipcasters, the sniper will never shoot you. Moving best. So, click those orbs, jump down, kill that. And you can Zipcaster right to there. I have a split just for this next section. It's just climbing and dialogue. And they're explaining... This is the Mr. Grizz's evil monologue, like every villain has. That sound effect was making me laugh. Yeah, I just have that split for movements check. And here's another cutscene, so I will finish my snack while this cutscene goes on. It's just explaining how Grizz is going into space and how he's gonna kill everybody with the mammalian fuzz he's created. And then we follow him to space and do stuff. So I will finish my snack because I'm still hungry while this cutscene plays. Okay, I finished my snack. Back. Now we somehow go to space from this, even though we're underground right now. I believe we're still underground. We somehow go to space because Nintendo logic. And somehow we just have a spacesuit. They just have a spacesuit ready for us. I don't question it. Anyway, here's the final boss area. It's split into two parts. This is just Mr. Grizz being Mr. Grizz. The first phase, we collect golden eggs and we shoot at the spots on Grizz's body, the one that's glowing, as you can see in front of us. We shoot that. Also, the aim here is very funny at the beginning. Even if you reset your camera, it just doesn't work half the time. And it looks like you're controlling the game of Star Fox. This, for me, is actually the hardest part of the run because it's just kind of difficult. And I tried being way too risky. So, I'll be a bit more safe right now. It was just an annoying part of the stage for me. Or annoying section of the game. Also, each time you defeat a part of Grizz, the music changes, which I think is really cool. Right now it's kind of just drum. When you start the next section, an instrument gets added. goal right now is to get all these before the... oh, my small fry died. The goal is to collect all the golden eggs before and unlock the thing before the ship starts moving too much. Which I did. And then I like trying to go early so I can kill these. And I can get up early while it's still moving like that way. And then this is the last one. Let's go that. You can slowly kind of get that one damage early. This last phase is kind of hard. This phase is where the synths start to kick in, which is my favorite. The synths and the music is very cool. I actually don't know how the audio balance is right now, because I usually don't use mic when I'm doing stuff. I usually just record locally and mic off. Grinding, but I'm recording for a lot of times. Sending specials at us. Here's the section that causes me the most trouble. This section right here. Okay, we're good. I can survive this section. Well, I can survive this section. Now we can get the early cycle on this last phase. Also, yeah, Ink and Splatoon just doesn't work sometimes, so... I'm gonna do this early. So before he does his killer whale attack, I'm gonna block this, we do that. And we're supposed to... The community as a... or us as a community decided to split here. I know it's not really a turn marathon. Us as a community could have a split because we have a Fade to Black, but we decided to split on the explosion right here. It's just so much cooler. It's just so much cooler, so we just do that. And I'm gonna check to my PB real quick. This is my saw. My PB, I'm 36 seconds ahead of PB. Overall the run wasn't bad. Could have been a bit better, but I had some big mistakes in my PB, and I had some big mistakes in this run. I just had less big mistakes. As long as I don't mess up this last section, I should PB. Maybe get a new second place time. Or third place time. But I did mess up quite a bit in this run. And the best song in the game, always, Calamari Incantation. Always the best song. Every time I get here, I just can't stop jamming. Also, this was the biggest shock in the game, just watching this cutscene. Small Fry turns into, looks like he's doing a Spirit Bomb and just gonna kill himself, but he turns into, Big Fry. He turns into a Steak Fry, I like to say. A Steak Fry. Because it's just steak. And then, yeah, the biggest surprise of Splatoon 3 story, even though it's kind of expected from the beginning, if you actually watched, if we didn't skip over the cutscene from the beginning, this phase, we control Octavio's ship, even though Octavio can kind of just do it himself. Nintendo has to do it for us. Oh, I've never got that before. That saves about 6 seconds, but it's cool. We have to avoid those loose balls. We got a few extra hits here, so we can make an earlier cycle. Well, that kind of ruins the time save that we had. Because, yeah, that ruins the time save we got. That's fine, we're still fine. Especially because we have the level 3 hero shots. It makes all the enemies really easy to kill. It is possible to skip an enemy phase in this section. I've only ever done it once, and I don't know of anyone else ever doing this. I think that the first phase, these guys. I don't know what I'm doing. I was 3 off. If I first faced those guys, or the first section, I could have gotten it, because I got really lucky with that second stage. And here's the final one. The most challenging. Kind of lose. That was the hardest one to lose. I always use the lid for cover right in here. Try to throw a bomb so I can distract. This is kind of slow, but it's fine. It's okay. Yeah. It's the last phase. This will be by about 30 seconds-ish. And the time ends when the first frame of complete white on this section. So, like, now. That's good. Anyways, that's Splatoon 2, or Splatoon 3 Hero Mode, any percent, no major exploits. Hope you guys accept me, and have a good day.